In the second part of this series, I tracked the alignment from the Gulf of Aden through Yemen and the United Arab Emirates, ending up in Dubai. This part is about the next geographic location on the alignment, the Strait of Hormuz and its islands. This is a long circle alignment. I have been crossing further geographical distances in other videos than I will here, because what I found in this location was noteworthy enough to focus this video exclusively on it. My name is Michelle Gibson. The Strait of Hormuz is the only sea passage from the Persian Gulf to the open ocean. It is situated between the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman. About 20% of the world's petroleum passes through here, and it is considered one of the world's most strategically important choke points. This is a tense area, to say the least. In my journey of awareness regarding this information, I have learned what to look for, and I have found that islands on the planetary grid lines are extremely interesting. I will share with you what I found out about the islands of the Strait of Hormuz, specifically the islands of Abu Musa, Qeshm, and Hormuz. These islands are windows to a hidden history. The island of Abu Musa is contested between the United Arab Emirates and Iran. It is administered by Iran as part of the Hormozgan province. It is the furthest island from the Iranian coast and is strategically important as it sits near the entrance to the Strait of Hormuz. I wish to demonstrate to you that beaches with a symmetric curvature and rocky features right next to the shore, as seen in this photo of Abu Musa, are common features in diverse places. Compare it with these similar-looking shorelines, like the Israeli side of the Dead Sea. Halawi Bay on the Hawaiian island of Molokai, the Black Sea in Bulgaria, Lake Baikal in Siberia, and Shimya in the near-island group of the Aleutian Island chain. How about these comparisons of the rocks on the shore of Abu Musa, the shore of Flowerpot Island, an island in Georgian Bay in the province of Ontario in Canada, and Dead Man's Reef on Bahama Beach, located at West End on the Grand Bahama Island. The island of Qeshm, formerly known as Qeshm, in the Strait of Hormuz, is the largest island in Iran and one of the largest islands in the world. An important trading center at one time, it is situated just a short distance off the coast of Iran. Qeshm, like the Hawaiian island of Molokai, looks like the shape of a fish to me. This is a good place to insert the fact that Qeshm has the Earth's largest mammal, the blue whale, in its waters. As well as pods of dolphins that swim close by. The dolphins of Qeshm. Interestingly, in Castle's Bible, Qeshm was mentioned as the supposed site of the Garden of Eden. Let's take a look at what is found on the island. It is called the Island of Seven Wonders, which include the Valley of the Stars, or Stars Valley, called one of the most amazing natural sights in the world. Like everywhere else, I see ancient masonry here. This view of the Valley of the Stars on Qeshm Island reminds me of Bryce Canyon in Utah, and Red Rocks State Park in California. The Hera forest on Qeshm is comprised of floating mangrove trees. And the Hera forest area is a protected biosphere reserve for its ecosystem with many tidal channels. The Tala wells on Qeshm are capable of holding water healthy and cool for a long time. The locals say in the past, the number of these cisterns equaled the number of days in the year, and every day one of the wells was used for water. The Tala wells reminded me of the Plain of Jars in Laos. The Plain of Jars is a mystery, with thousands of huge jars cut from stone filling the landscape. Some of the stone jars are gigantic. And then there are the ancient Puquio wells of Nazca in Peru. This is a system of subterranean aqueducts, and most are still functioning. This particular location on Qeshm Island reminds me of the Emerald Pool at Guadalupe Canyon in Baja California, Mexico. One more thing I would like to point out before I leave the beautiful island of Qeshm, which is in a free zone, so a visa is not required to visit. This photo is of Harbor Loft on Qeshm on the left. These buildings most definitely have Moorish architectural features. To support what I am saying, for comparison on the right, is a picture of acknowledged Moorish architecture in Cordoba, Spain. In particular, take note of the crenellation, which is the recurring pattern on the top of the building in both pictures. Also, there are 5-lobed arches present in both pictures, as well as arches with no entrances or windows. It's even called the 5-lobed Moorish arch. More on this architectural style shortly. Next, I wish to introduce you to Hormuz Island, the Rainbow Island of Iran. The red color you see here in the road is red ochre, which has been used for ceremonial and artistic purposes throughout human history. This is said to be the old Portuguese fort on Hormuz Island, supposedly built after the Portuguese Duke Alfonso de Albuquerque captured the island in 1507, and it became part of the Greater Portuguese Empire. The Portuguese held on to the island of Hormuz until 1622, at which time the British East India Company allied with the Persians and successfully recaptured Hormuz. Both the Dutch East India Company and the British East India Company were integral components in how the advanced ancient civilization was taken down. This is a portrait of William Baffin, an English explorer who died of wounds sustained during the capture of Hormuz. Baffin Bay and Baffin Island are named after him. Here is a photo of the vaulted arches of the so-called Portuguese fort on Hormuz, and the vaulted arches of the Seville Cathedral. Seville was the capital of Moorish Spain. Compared with this example of what is called Spanish Gothic architecture at Bryn Mawr College in Pennsylvania, that was torn down 8 years ago, with its vaulted ceiling and 5-lobed Moorish arches. Demolition in modern times is the fate of many of these structures with heavy and enduring masonry, sadly only to be replaced by buildings that are considerably inferior, like I am watching a multiple-story apartment complex go up in the neighborhood where I work, framed with wood and particle board. This style of vaulted arch is seen at Fort Pulaski in Savannah, Georgia. They want us to believe all of these architectural similarities were occurring during times across countries and continents during centuries when, according to what we were taught in history class, transportation was limited and communication was regional. I have found that falsely attributing structures as to their builders is a common practice in the cover-up of this ancient civilization. Another example of this is the old Russian fort on Kauai, which looks like an ancient star fort to me. Lastly, before I leave the island of Hormuz, there is a place called Deers Moor, spelled M-O-O-R here, on a tiny island off the coast of Iran. Like the Moors of Britain, with the same spelling, I believe the memory of the people remains in the place. This is Scales Moor in Yorkshire, called Britain's greatest limestone pavement. Here are a few more photos of the Hormuz Island coast. I will end this post here. As always, there is more here than what I have shared, but this serves as an introduction to an obscure but fascinating place. I will pick up the alignment in the next video in Bandar-e Abbas, Iran.